Show. Show. How y'all doing? Welcome to the program. It is Monday, and it is our weekend update. Coming off a big Oktoberfest weekend in September. That's how we do things. That's how we roll. We'll be back with our fun list in just a minute. Wow, so we got a music problem. Doesn't that figure? Let's fix it. Let's fix it on the Book of Face, all right? There it is. How about that? You know, it's great that we've got all these... It's great we've got all these folks who watch all the time that can tell me when it's effed up out there in the real world. Thank you for that. Hopefully now you're hearing us. Somebody give me a big 10-4 if you can hear the theme song now. I hope you can. We do have a music problem. That's why we're here. Shoo. Chris Casey said, I fixed it. Thank you, Chris. Kevin Cooper says it's good. That's what happens when your platform over a weekend decides to connect to something else. That's how it works. But yeah. Sweet Sister Mercy. Let's just do this. I mean, there's crap up on the screen. You can't see what's going on in the studio here, but let me get rid of this stuff off the screen. There we go. And let's just start over. There we go. I'll do the shortened version. If you're out there, thanks for watching. That's how it works here. It is. It's in constant chaos. Here's Sweet Sister Mercy.
Working for the weekend, and I want to see a show. I flip on the Book of Face.
Dewey, you're spot on. It was from the computer mic. That's why it sounded like crap. Yeah. I get a mulligan, Bob says.
Into the music scene.
I do. Showing lots of love. Hi, David Linda.
For the community. With great advice, I know who I should go see.
There we go. We're back and running. Welcome to the program. It's Monday. You can tell it's a Monday. Shoo, doggies. That's craziness, man. It is. It's because I survived the Springboro earthquake. I'm still standing on shaky ground. I am. Charmin says better. That's all I got from Charmin is a better. Better. How are you, Charms? Good to have you with us. Better. Welcome to the program, guys. We got a lot to talk about. Big weekend. Big weekend. It was. Welcome to your weekend update from All Around Town Radio. It's your backstage hall pass to local music and your number one source for live local music news, bands, venues, and more right here at All Around Town Radio. And, of course, your home for everything music. Don't forget to hit the share button on our shows throughout the week. We'd appreciate it if you do that and share what we're doing here and the love we're trying to give to the local music community. I'm going to go back. Charmin's eating dinner. Okay. What's for dinner, Charmin? I must have missed that invite. I did miss the dinner invite, but I wouldn't have been there anyway because I'm here. And unless we can bring the studio to you, I don't know. So let me talk about last week, first of all. Thank you for those who shared. However, the Book of Face strikes again. Somehow through the show, they decided they didn't like what we did and sent me a little nasty gram saying you've been muted in certain specific areas of the country. I didn't even play music. So I don't know what it was all about. but we had 1,000 views. We went from a 4,000 the week before to 1,000. So there. That's why I hate that Thursday show sometimes. I do. It's a lot of work to get that kind of viewership. But it is the way it works. And Dewey says he wasn't feeling well, so he took off a rare weekend. Wow. All right. Well, you're going to hear about mine then. You will. Good afternoon, John Esper. Thank you for checking in from Columbus today. If you're out there, guys, please say hi. We'd love to hear from you. Ed Sawicki has popped up on my screen that he is listening. Are you back yet, Ed? Are you back in town? Welcome to your weekend update, guys. Let's get started. Before I start, though, I will say our weekly programming. You can check it out Tuesday, Hot Topic Tuesday with my co-host, Karis. What's up, Zach? Thank you for dropping in. Wednesday with the band this week, Greg Anderson joining me talking about a Prisoners show at the Blue Note. It's a fundraiser we're going to talk about on Wednesday at noon. You don't have to watch at noon, though. It's always available on our page if you're busy at noon. Tune into it sometime and catch up with what's going on with these bands that we feature on the page for sure. Hi, Jim McCarthy. Thank you for dropping by. And Edward's still on the road. On the road again. All right. Every Thursday, it's Who's Playing Out for as long as I keep doing it. I don't know, man. I'm at the frustration point with it again. Y'all know how I get. I'll try to climb the mountain, but it's just a lot of work. It is for no viewers. Compliment to the Book of Face. What's up, Steve? There's Steve from Timestamp. I will tell you, I'm going to be posting pictures of a Timestamp show over the weekend. I did not get them in before the show started today, but I will talk about Timestamp, and then we'll post some pictures later in the evening that we had of them. It'll be our final photo gallery of the weekend as well. So I want to kick back to music. Name That Tune trivia on Wednesday night, where at Heather's we had 33 teams on a beautiful evening. Going to be another beautiful evening this week for it. So if you haven't been there yet this year, get out and join us. You have until mid-November to catch a show there, but I will tell you it gets chilly. So please think about that and come see us if you haven't been yet this year. We've got regulars who play each week, but you can get in. Right now, this time of year, we're not filling every table, so that's good. But still get a reservation so you can get close to us. We want to be close to you. The Carpenters, Under the Tent. That might be never know, might be a song. Oh, Jim McCarthy saying happy birthday to Jennifer Sawicki. I didn't know it was Jennifer's birthday. I must have missed that, but I haven't been on the Book of Face much today. So happy birthday, Jennifer, or maybe it was a day or two ago. Hi, how are you, Stephen or Steven in the house? Steven in the house. What's going on? So, that was Name That Tune. Thank you to Heather and her staff. And thank you, Charmin's out there, my graders who helped grade. I couldn't do it without them. And believe me, I couldn't. And we have a great time on Wednesday night with our trivia family there. It's just so much fun. And it's really not trivia. It's songs. I play the song. You tell me the song and artist. So we call it Name That Tune trivia. But you think of trivia as questions. And we don't do questions. We do bonus lyrics. We do. So let's talk about the Thursday Jam for a minute. Jonathan Groom's birthday. Went to the Jam at the Bell and the Bear. I probably will be there this Thursday as well because it is the 5th anniversary of the Jam. And I will tell you that the Jam saved a lot of us through COVID when everything else was shut down and not going well. We certainly had a good time. And the Jam saved us through the COVID era. And it's still going strong. We had a great time at the Jam on Thursday night. Some wonderful players up there singing and going on. My goodness, Ray Renee, who I love to hear sing. TJ was giving it hell up on the stage. And gosh, who else did we have? Well, of course, the house band that night, which is always incredible. The house band made up of Jim Cuesta, Kevin Cooper, Jamie Combs, Jonathan Grooms, whose birthday it was. Travis Hanna was playing the drums that night, and a host of other people. And yep, Stephen is the doorman at the Bell. Yes, he is one of the doormen at the Bell. Hello, Belinda. Thank you for dropping by. Good to have you. And Jennifer, thanks for chiming in on Ed's page there. We appreciate that. Good to see you popping in on here. And yes, I will be at the Bell and the Bear on Thursday this week for the anniversary jam. We'd love to see a lot of you show up for that. But it's just magical. So many people come into that jam, have so much fun. I got to see Kathy Laverde play, which I love to watch her play bass. While Jonathan took a little break and ran around. Got to see Chad and Heather, who are great friends. We sat out on the patio for a long time and chatted. And Bob Weber was in the house, just a host of people playing that night, and really good stuff going on. And Jonathan sang a whole bunch that night and did a great job, Dewey. He opened the show on his birthday and continued throughout the night to just slay it as he always does on stage. So, and Jonathan Grooms, again, one of the nicest people you'll meet. Just a super good guy. And he was so appreciative of everybody being there for his birthday. And, I went down and had a little birthday bash there too. And I can tell you, the people at the Bell know how to throw a party for a birthday. Hi, Emily. Thank you for being here. And certainly the people who come in the Bell, not even the staff and everybody who are fantastic, but the folks who just come into the Bell as customers are wonderful human beings and just so nice. So we always want to tout that a little bit because it's a unique environment there. It's where musicians go to see other musicians play. And Chris Reese coined the phrase, it's the musicians clubhouse. And I agree with that 100%. Toy Hobbs was in the house that night and got to see him and Rick. And I think Toy got up for one or two, but then they bailed quick. They ran like their probation officer showed up or something. I don't know. But that's what shook there. There's Steve Krakus from DV8 in the house. Thank you for being with us, Steve. And we talked about them last week. We got to see a wonderful show at the Blue Note with DV8. So Thursday Night Jam, if you've been there, if you know, you know. And that's all I have to say about that. Everything else it falls into place there. It's a wonderful place to see live music. And bring your axe or your horn or your whatever and come down to the Bell on a Thursday night. And this week it ought to be off the hook because it is that 5th anniversary party. And let's get down there and show Karis a wonderful appreciation for what she does and what she brings. She was there Thursday. We had a good time. You can see through one of our pictures, we were having a good time. And it wasn't alcohol induced. None of us were drinking. But it was just fun. It was. Kevin says Toy's in the house band this week as well, filling in for Jamie Combs, I believe I saw. And yes, Toy played a couple songs with Ray and then left early. It was a school night. Yes, had to play the next night. I got you, man. You got to pace yourself on that stuff. But it was great to see you guys as always. I love the Rockstar band. Rockstar played at the Miamisburg Moose. I did not get there, but I saw them the week before at Heather's, and they were wonderful. So. Bob's in the house. He says, have a number of open jams in Columbus, nothing even close to what you have at the Bell. Thank you, Bob. And yes, and really, it's true on Thursday. I mean, if you're off that night and you're a working musician, you're there. You come in and hang out, and they could easily just take a night off and say no, but they love to go there. And just the socialization part of it is so good. Even if you don't get up on stage and play, it's so much fun. Scott Bennett, how are you? Heather's in the house. Just mention you. Well, if you're there this Thursday, I'll see you again, Heather. We'll get to hang out. I love hanging out with you and Chad. You're wonderful people. And I was talking about you earlier, if your ears were burning. So that's all I got to say about the Bell and the Bear Jam. If you know, as I say. So let's go to Friday. Big weekend in Springboro, Ohio. It's called Oktoberfest, but it's in September. And the church there in Springboro puts this on every year. It gets bigger and bigger every year. And what a beautiful weekend it was for that festival. It was insanely good weather for it. I've been there when it's 110 degrees. I've been there when it's freezing cold. And this was just perfect. Let me get to Glenn before I get into that. Let me get to Glenn's comment here. He just popped up. Friday Night Low Garage, one of the best cover bands, the Ultimate Bread tribute called Toast. And that's a great name for a bread tribute. It really is. For real, for real. Heather, you're wonderful. What a darling you are. Okay. Let's talk about Friday night at Oktoberfest. Made a little trip down there. Got to see some folks called the Trapper Keepers. Now, what do you think? What do you think that name implies? You would think, right? Yes. What's up, Dirk Turner? Thank you for being here from Crying Out Loud. Yeah, the Trapper Keepers were playing there at Oktoberfest. Now they have two stages at Oktoberfest. There's a cover band stage, so to speak, and then there's the German band area, the big tent with a lot of tables, and it's where a lot of people, they're toasting or prosting all night and doing all that stuff in there and playing. The Bergstrass brothers were there, or boys, they're called. And they're a little different version of the Claberheads, if you've ever seen them. But if you've been to any of these German festivals, those bands are so much fun. I didn't get a lot of pictures of them this year. I normally sit in that tent for a while, and I didn't. But I did get to hear some of their music. The Bergstrass boys doing a great job on Friday. But the Trapper Keepers, I got to hear their first set, and I hung out over there. There's an area of the craft brew area. It's all local breweries that are bringing their Oktoberfest style beers in there, which I think is cool that they support local. And it's not just, Bud Light and all those that you'll see at the festivals that the trucks are pouring. This is a really cool festival and a lot of fun. They have the Stein holding contest full of beer, those kind of things. They have great food, from cabbage rolls to bratwurst and all that, making me hungry thinking about it right now. But Oktoberfest in Springboro, always a great time. And Trapper Keepers, let's talk about their set. You get the name Trapper Keeper. How many people had a Trapper Keeper in their early life? I bet you did. If you had a Trapper Keeper, say something. Hi, Catherine. Thanks for being here. And Dewey says, that takes me back to the 80s when I was a kid. Well, Dewey, listen to this set list and you'll know where they were. Let's start out with Centerfold. 2 Tickets to Paradise. Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Don't You Forget About Me. Jump. You're Just What I Needed. Jesse's Girl. Don't Change. Video Killed the Radio Star. Pink Houses. It's a Long Way to the Top. Go Your Own Way. Sweet Caroline. Honky Tonk Woman. Hold the Line. Let's Go Crazy. And Purple Rain in the first set. And then roll on into number 2. Let's talk about that. And Heather had a Trapper Keeper. Yes. And Dewey remembers saving his allowance to buy one. Isn't that funny? God, those were great days. They were. Little Runaway. Hey, Jealousy. You May Be Right. My Own Worst Enemy. Are You Gonna Go My Way? So they got a little 90s in there too in places. All the Small Things, 3 a.m., Take It on the Run, Yellow, Ain't Worth the Whiskey, White Wedding, Blister in the Sun, Beds Are Burning, Keep Your Hands to Yourself, and Turn the Page. And then they end the night with this one, Fat Bottom Girls, Everlong, Any Way You Want It, Fight for Your Right, Superstition, Beer Never Broke My Heart, My Sharona, and Pour Some Sugar on Me, Play That Funky Music, 500 Miles Surrender, and Flagpole Sitta. And I think I just screwed that totally up. I think that was the set list for, hold on, people. That was the set. Let me say that I'm an idiot, because that was the set list there. I was reading that and thinking, wait a minute. Let me look. I've got too many messages today, and no wonder nobody watches this show. I'm so screwed up. Let me see what I got. Yeah, hold on. It's because I recognized all these songs in the first set. That was the set list for Timestamp, like an idiot, that I just read on the 3 sets they did, and I'm going to talk about them Saturday. So Trapper Keepers just posted theirs in the comments. Good Lord. I botched that up so bad. That's what happens when you're throwing a show together 10 minutes before it starts, because I've been crazy busy today. I do have another life, by the way. So, yes. And, yes. Tom said I got it right. All right. See, all these guys from, and there's a lot of the same songs. So let me talk about Trapper Keeper set. Don't Change, Relax, Turn Up the Radio. Come on, Autograph. Who does Autograph? I love it. Everybody Have Fun Tonight. Poison Arrow. Who Can It Be Now? Middle of the Road. Melt With You. Too Shy. Kajagoogoo. New Girl Now. Something About You. Miss Me Blind. I Want a New Drug. Rio. Centerfold. Let's Go Crazy. Let's Dance. Everybody Wants to Rule the World, Just Like Heaven, West End Girls, Eminence Front, What You Need, The Breakup Song, Greg Kihn Band, I like that one, Rebel Yell, Careless Whisper, Sledgehammer, Obsession. Oh, Don't You Forget About Me, extended version of the Cars are in there. The Cars were in there. Don't You Forget About Me at the end, extended version, just a whole lot of stuff. And that was the Trapper Keeper set list. And thank you guys for throwing that one in the comments. There it is. Thanks for bearing with my idiocy today, but can I just tell you, in my defense, there are 5 screens in this studio. Over here, right that way, is the one that the timestamp set list was on. Trapper Keepers are over here in another spot, and you don't care, but you just know I screwed it up. So there. What's up, Sean Cooper? How are you? And yes, so there it is. You got to hear. I'm allowed to be human. Heather says, "Well, I'm an idiot human some days, but that's how it works." But both of them share kind of equally the same set lists in many ways. So that's kind of why I grabbed that one out of the corner of my eye. So Trapper Keepers, there it was. Great job. The crowd up and bumping and jumping and dancing and all that at Oktoberfest. So great stuff. And that was the first part of my night. Then I rolled on over to Heather's to hear the end of Benny Hill, and not Benny Hill, the comedian, but Benny Hill, the musician, who has one of the most unique voices you'll ever hear for a solo guy. He's so good, so smooth, and just a wonderful human being as well. So Benny Hill on Friday night at Heather's. Now, I will tell you, when I say unique, it's a great unique voice, and you should definitely follow Benny Hill and go see him sometime. Wonderful stuff going on. Thanks, Rob. Sorry I botched that, man. It's one of those days. Dave, thank you. I appreciate you being here. So as we move through this messed up weekend update, I want to tell you that Benny Hill had a huge crowd at Heather's on Friday night. And he's one of those guys that, it's big Oktoberfest weekend, and Heather booked him for a reason. And Heather books smart. She does. She's a smart booking person, because she knows that Benny Hill, when he plays, nobody leaves. And so it just built and built and built it as people leave Oktoberfest. And, they're, I don't want to say they're tired. They're full of the 8% beers at festival pricing. They roll out of there and they come up the street and they hear the live music and they're like, let's stop in Heather's. And they sit on the patio at Heather's for a while, which is a great thing. And Benny Hill plays everything. I mean, he's all over the place, but you got to love the guy. And he's a super guy on the breaks. He works the crowd. He meets everybody. And he's one of those guys that doesn't have a huge social media presence. I mean, he's got a page. So you can like his page, Benny Hill Music, or Benny Hill, just Benny Hill. And you can check him out. He's a wonderful musician and did a great job on Friday night at Heather's. Now, I will say, I'm going to be honest, I had a few of them 8% beers over at the Oktoberfest with my good buddy Jerry, who happens to be married to Heather. And went back to Heather's, and I decided I needed to quit for the night and go home. I don't drink, so not a lot, as most of you know. I'll have a Jameson or two here and there, but I don't drink heavy. And that one kind of bit me. Came up and bit me. It did. So I went home fairly early, but I did get to hear Benny Hill. So thank you to Benny. Great job as always. Benny's got a great following, and he's just a super cool dude. So please check him out if you can. All right, let me talk about Saturday now. Saturday was a fantastic day of music, even though I woke up with a bit of a headache. Wonder why. Saturday, brand new band. And I want you to take note of this. If you take note of anything I talk about today, please, 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 please listen to this. There's a group of guys called the Crossroads Collective Band. Now, it is made up, the Crossroads Collective are made up of Jason on vocals and guitar, Titus on guitar and vocals, Aaron on drums, and Herbie on bass. They played Heather's at 1:00, the midday music, as I call it, the matinee session. And they played that at Heather's. Hold that thought. Glenn just put a big post up here. Let me throw it in there. There it is. Got to see great music this weekend. There you go. Got your funk on with Groove Masters and the Gamut at Fretboard. I love the Gamut. I do. I've never seen the Groove Masters, but I love the Gamut. Wonderful. So, Crossroads Collective. These young guys have taken a lot of crap. Now, I'm going to tell you, I have them tagged on my page in pictures. When we're done today, go to that link, hit it, and follow them. They have 43 followers on their page, people. We can do better than that because they are a bunch of hardworking young men. And I will tell you, they played Jimi Hendrix. They played Grateful Dead music. They played Marcus King, if you're familiar with Marcus King. And they're all over the place with their classic rock. And Titus, they asked me on the second set if I would dial in their sound a little bit. They were struggling with sound. And here's the funny story. I'll give you the funny story about that, and then I'll tell you why they take some crap. This band had nothing in the PA except 2 microphones. He said, "Can you dial us in?" I said, "Well, that'll be easy. There's nothing in it." So they're playing stage volume. They're a brand new band. They're learning. Okay. And we had to do a little adjustment on sound levels on guitar amps and things like that to try to blend it in and make a mix out of it. Because typically what happens when you play all amplifiers from the stage is you got to crank the vocals so damn loud to get over those amps and the drums that it's not a fantastic mix. And they struggled a little in the first set with that. We got it dialed in fairly well. Jason has an incredible voice, did a great job of singing these songs. Titus, he started playing the solo on a Hendrix tune, and I stopped dead in my tracks. This kid's fantastic. He's phenomenal. Now, I understand he went to college for music. He can play piano. He can play the flute. He can play the banjo, and he can play the guitar like I would compare him to a lot of our great guitarists in the tri-state. Virtually unknown guy, hasn't played out a whole lot. They played a couple open mics before they did this show at Heather's, and I've got to give Heather big props for allowing them to be on the stage there, because Heather takes chances on people that are nice and local and friendly, and that's what these guys are. They were so appreciative of the crowd being there. And yes, and as Kevin Cooper just said, I agree 100%. Every single band we all like has gone through this learning phase. And yeah, they're the future of music. They are. And here's the story I wanted to tell you. So they were practicing for this gig in the past few weeks because they knew they had this first time ever they had to play for 3 hours. Now that's tough for a new band. That's a lot of material, you're told right up front, you're not going to take a 45-minute break. So you've got to have the material to play. So they were practicing in the garage. How many of us have started in a garage band? Come on. Yes. Played in a garage somewhere when you were young. So there was a lady, I'll just call her Karen, who lived in the neighborhood, who got on the local Facebook I Want to Be a Karen site and started bitching about this band and called them the crappy band that played in the garage. Well, I got news for Karen. This band is far from crappy. These guys can play. And for a first-time show, I always thought it was not the Phillies fan. But for a first-time show, I thought they really did a good job. They have a lot to learn about sound. They have a lot to learn about stage presence and some of those. But they really did a good job of introing their songs and not talking a lot and not noodling and tuning and all the things you see new bands do. So they're already a step ahead. And Diana, they're from Springboro. So when we're off here today, guys, if you would go to the page and the Hall Around Town page and look at the pictures I posted of the Crossroads Collective. There's a link to their page. Please follow them. Give them a shot in the arm today and let them know we talked about them. You know, if you say something to them, let them know you heard about them here. But these guys were great. I was proud I could get them dialed in a little bit on the sound. But again, didn't have a lot to work with when I was only working with 2 mics and only one guy singing the time I was there. Titus, I think, sings a song or two and does background vocals. But he makes up for that in his huge guitar work. And I mean, everybody in the room was coming up to us and saying, where'd this kid learn how to play guitar? He's fantastic. And I agree, Kevin, we should get him down to the jam one week because they could do some Hendrix tunes and they could do, a couple Grateful Dead tunes or whatever and really slay it. And I think that'd give them a huge shot in the arm too. And Crossroads Collective Band. And like I said, Dewey, they're on the page. I have pictures of them and the links right there to their page. So tap on the link and hit that follow button. I'd appreciate it so much. They have 43 followers at the beginning of the show today. Let's bump it up there just a little bit for them. I hope so. That's what we want to do. So thank you to them. That was the afternoon. Now I got to jump into the evening real quick. Timestamp. I've seen Timestamp a bunch. They're fantastic fellows. Wonderful people to work with always and to be around. And Steve, thank you for the set list that I botched earlier. And thank you, Diana. I've been studying. Either that or my eyes are getting worse and my pictures are better. I don't know what's going on, Diana, but I appreciate that coming from you and your great pictures. And Ed's mentioned that to me at one time or another too, that it was a decent shot or this. And I really feel honored when you guys say that because you are the quintessential photographers of the rock stars here in town and wonderful stuff. And I try to get a few pictures and, we try to share those pictures and I'll send them to Heather if she needs to post them, if her staff didn't get to them that night. Sometimes they're slamming busy and don't have a chance to take photos and such. So that's all I try to do. And I want to talk about Timestamp. If you weren't on at the beginning of the show, you're going to get a repeat of their set list here. I'm sorry, but you're going to hear it because Timestamp is a party from start to finish. They kick it off with great music. Steve plays the trumpet. Not often. There's some of these songs that you do that you can do with the trumpet, and it's wonderful to have that happen and hear that kind of stuff. But this band is solid vocally, very deep vocally. I mean, you've got the keyboard player singing, you got Tom over there singing, and they step up to the mic and trade spots, and Steve runs over to the keyboard, and Steve will play guitar or whatever. It's just a cool thing to watch happen. And Dewey said he's loving the Miss Jackie Follow Hall Around Town contest. Yeah, we'll leave that off today. Actually, we'll talk about it maybe at the end. Remind me, Dewey, at the end here real quick, and I'll say something about it. But okay, so Timestamp out of Cincinnati came up, and Heather likes to book them. They played Oktoberfest last year. There's always a good crowd for Oktoberfest that goes on. And of course, it's studio time, so somebody has to come to the door here and ring the doorbell at this time every day. If you hear the dogs barking, that's what's shaking. Centerfold, 2 tickets to paradise. Everybody wants to rule the world. I'm doing them quick. Don't you forget about me. Jump. Hey, Stephen Bell. You're just what I needed. Jesse's Girl. Don't change. Video killed the radio star. Pink Houses. It's a long way to the top. Go your own way. Sweet Caroline. Honky Tonk Woman, Hold the Line, Let's Go Crazy, and Purple Rain. That may be jumbled up too as to which set is which, so don't quote me on that being set one. Little Runaway, Hey Jealousy, You May Be Right. Short Skirt, Long Jacket, My Own Worst Enemy, Are You Gonna Go My Way, All the Small Things, 3 a.m., Take It on the Run, Yellow, Ain't Worth the Whiskey, White Wedding, Blister in the Sun, Beds Are Burning, Keep Your Hands to Yourself and Turn the Page. And then Fat Bottom Girls, Everlong, Any Way You Want It, Fight for Your Right, Superstition, Beer Never Broke My Heart, My Sharona, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Play That Funky Music, 500 Miles, Surrender, and Flagpole Sitta. There it is. There it is. How about that, people? Timestamp. Good dudes. When you meet them too. And Steve, I've got to say hats off to you for what you do for all the veterans. If you're still out there, thank you for everything you do for the veterans. Thank you for the nice shout out from the stage on Saturday. Totally unnecessary, but thank you. I appreciate it very much. And just it's always great to recognize those of us all together who work to support a live local music community, as Timestamp does as well. They're good folks, and they get out and see other people play. I've seen Tom at the Jam and Rob and people like that. Rob on drums is a beast, by the way, just an absolute beast back there. And it's a solid band. So please check them out as well. If you haven't yet, follow them and go to one of their shows if you can. And I don't know what's got my dog so jacked up, so I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background, but it's okay. That's how it works. So that was my weekend. Nothing yesterday. Didn't leave the house yesterday. Watched the little Bengals win, which was a squeaker. And in between on Saturday, I did get to see the Buckeye game as well, which was fun. And I do want to mention Miss Jackie, as Dewey brought up there. Miss Jackie, last week, I did finally get her pictures posted, and Miss Jackie was sporting the Hall Around Town stickers in places. I'll just say that. Some of them I couldn't post. Some of them I could. But Miss Jackie has a contest on her page. Go follow her. She's tagged us in it. It's about following Hall Around Town Radio, and then something about a watermelon. Look it up. That's all I'm going to say. I want you to go look at it, because I'll just leave it at that. And your dogs are barking because they hear mine. Well, it's just how it works for us dog people. It is. Steve, thank you so much. And good stuff. And Tom Solo's great in that. You guys are just a top-notch band, Steve. I love everything about you guys, and thank you for taking good care of the folks at Heather's that night. Working the crowd too. You're great at working the crowd. And when I say working the crowd, that's engaging the crowd and making them want to stay and be part of the night there. And it's so important that bands do that. So many people forget that in the music business. And that's one of the most important things. You can be a mediocre band and still work the crowd and do a great job. And so please keep that one in mind. And these guys did a top level job that night of working that crowd, keeping them engaged and keeping them there, partaking in the spirits and being part of a successful night for the venue. Yes. Dewey says those Grambling State Tigers were unstoppable. They were all the way to the locker room. They were unstoppable. And yes, Diana, you wanted to know again, you can go to the page, guys, and look at the pictures on our page, but Crossroads Collective Band is the name of that band, Diana. And there's a link right there. Just click on it and it'll take you to their page and you can follow them. And I'm sure they would appreciate it. I would appreciate it. All right, real quick, we're out of time. Thank you, Timestamp, again. Wonderful stuff. I've mentioned we've had Timestamp on the show. We've introduced them all by name, everything before, but just know that it's just a band that's a friend of Hall Around Town Radio here, and we're certainly very supportive of them, and they support us very much. Thank you, Dewey, for dropping that in there as well. Appreciate it. Hi, Steve Weber. Yeah, Gina and Johnny have a contest going too on how many guitars Johnny owns, and they're at 48 followers now. Kevin Cooper said, let's make it 50. Let's make it 55. Let's make it 100. I don't care. Just anybody that can follow him. If you're watching here today, guys, please give him a follow. Do that. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate you. I didn't really get a chance to chat with you on Saturday, but I would have loved to, but it was busy. You guys, every time you got off stage, you got bombarded by people, and didn't get a whole lot of time chatting with all of you. And Diana knows the answer. Well, don't give it away now. So Hot Topic Tuesday tomorrow with Karis. That is happening. It's going to be fun. And thank you. Thank you, Ed, for arriving at home and safely. And we'll see you soon. I hope to see you at the 5th anniversary of the Jam on Thursday. If you're there, I'm sure you will be. And Hot Topic Tuesday tomorrow with Karis. Join me for that with my co-host with the most. We'll be chatting it up. Wednesday with the band. This week, Greg Anderson joining me, talking about that prisoner benefit that's going on at the Blue Note and such. We'll be chatting it up about that, and that'll be good. And hopefully you can join us either at noon or you can watch it later. And thank you, Dewey, for saying you enjoyed the interview with the Cincinnati All-Stars Ozzy tribute, which is going to happen next Monday. That'll be good stuff. And it's a Monday night, people. But you remember, if you are going to that, you got to get there way early. I won't be able to doing a 5 o'clock show to even make it in there in time to get in at 7 o'clock, and it's going to fill up fast. But I'll be live stream watching that one, which you can find on their page as well, how to do that, and donate there as well for their fundraiser. Ozzy tribute, over 80 some players doing a tribute to Ozzy. This thing could go from 7 o'clock till 2 a.m. It could. Thank you, Steve. Thank you so much. Mark, thank you so much. Diana, Scotty Bratcher playing River's Edge Thursday. There you go. I know who you follow. I do. I do love that they're doing a live stream too. They realized early on, Dewey, that there's no way to get everybody in there, especially when you put 82 or 3 musicians in there plus one in there, and you've got a capacity of 270 or something. So it'll be crazy. Steve, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And guys, remember, our goal here is to support live local music. So please, if you haven't followed our page yet, do that. If you haven't invited people to follow our page, we ask that you please do that, but especially follow any of the band pages we mentioned as we go through our Monday weekend update. That's why we do it, to try to get you to go follow them and go see them, because that's what it's all about. Thursday's show, Who's Playing Out, brought to you by our friends at Heather's Cafe. And that is the musicians and venues in the tri-state and who's playing for the week. So we'd love to have you watch that one as well. I'll be back tomorrow live at 5 with Karis for some joy and judgment. And we'll get the haters out tomorrow. We always get some haters on that show. Join us. Just watch for the hate. It's what people love. Thanks so much, everybody. Get out and support live local music. If you're not doing it tonight, do it the rest of the week. All right, we'll see you soon. Have a great evening. It's beautiful outside. Enjoy it. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mike Richards. I have not heard the new tune, Uncaged. If that's the link you dropped at the bottom, that's great. Thank you.
There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love.
Just remember, everybody, the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speaker, that's me today, and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of our sponsors or any entities they may represent. Show. Let's do a little Hot Topic Tuesday promo there on the screen. How about that? She's pretty. I got a face for radio. But your opinion matters, so feel free to chime in and throw the hate at me. Just stop telling me I'm fat. Thanks. Hi, Karis. I'm starting to get a complex. I am. Hit the share button, guys, if you will. Like us, follow us on all the social media platforms. That is Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.